Hi everybody. So today in the fitting bay I've been testing the latest Ping G400 drivers. So due to the latest release of the G400 Max driver, which is a slightly bigger head than the traditional G400. The traditional G400 is 440 cc's in size, and the Max is the biggest legal size allowed at 460 cc's. So the whole idea of them bringing the Max out is all to do with ultimate forgiveness. So the G400 was a very, very high MOI driver, or moment of inertia driver, which is how the RNA rate forgiveness. But the G400 Max is now actually the highest rated driver on the market for forgiveness. So if I just show you those two drivers quickly, this is the Max. So you can see a slightly larger footprint. And then this is the normal G400. So I've actually just been testing these today against my current own driver. Now I play quite a low spinning, quite a forward CG driver. Typically I've always lost the ball a little bit too high and a little bit too spinny in the air, hence why I use that current driver that I do. So on the screen behind me I've got all the data from my driver compared to the G400 and the Max. So in terms of raw ball speed, power from the face, the Max in the green at the bottom here was 163. And the normal G400 was also 163, so pretty much identical. Then my driver, again with the low forward CG, was 165. That explains why we maybe got a little bit more ball speed. The initial launch angle of all three drivers was almost exactly the same. That's going to vary a little bit at 10 degrees in the middle, just down to my strike location on the club face. But then in terms of the spin rate, that's the only thing that's varied. The G400 Max and the normal G400, both at 3,000 revs of backspin. My low forward CG driver dropped that down to 2,300. So for me, that's where that works. So in terms of distance, the Max and the G400 were both averaging 290, and my driver was going a little bit further at the 310 yard mark. So it really does depend on you as an individual and what you're after. But if you're after a driver that's going to go very, very straight and be very forgiving, that's where the G400 and the G400 Max come in. From my point of view, hitting those clubs, at impact you really can feel how stable the G400 Max is. The face just doesn't feel like it's moving. So if I towed one a bit or heeled one a bit, it really didn't feel like it was going to move violently offline, which sometimes I can get with my own driver, again being a more forward CG driver, having a lower forgiveness rating. So really it depends what you're after. Is it ultimate distance or is it ultimate forgiveness? Now for most amateurs they're not going to overly spin the G400 or the Max due to the club head speed they're producing. Just for me it works a little bit better having the CG a little bit further forward. So again, if you want to hit more fairways, the Ping driver is definitely something to consider.